After multiple delays and much anticipation, Pine is finally on the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, it probably could have used another delay. Or two. What's up, guys? So glad to have you back. Do me a quick favor, leave a like on this video, and if you're not, please make sure you subscribe. Let's get right into it. So I played through as much of Pine as I could before my eyes just said, please stop. The game itself is good. I love what I played of it, but Pine is a buggy mess right now. But from what I got through, the story is pretty decent. At the beginning of the game, they really don't waste a lot of time getting you right into the story. So you start out and you help out with a few tasks around your village, and then you and your brother go explore a cave nearby. After that, a pretty catastrophic event takes place, and you decide that you need to go out and find a new place for your people to live. So once you make it out there, you start running into the other tribes, and at first, all they do is just try to kill you. But if you start donating to their villages, they eventually become neutral, and as you donate more, they become allies. The story kept me interested. I definitely wanted to keep playing. I really wanted to see what happened next, so it's just that much more disappointing that I just couldn't force myself to do it. Something else I thought was done really well in this game is the crafting. Again, I did not get all the way through the game, but I could definitely tell there was a lot of stuff to find and upgrade. I had in my bag what they call ideas. So these are like blueprints for building things in the game. It helps you make different armor and weapons and all kinds of other stuff. It's a really good idea. I love the way it's set up. But again, I wasn't really far in and I didn't have all the materials I needed to craft a lot of the stuff. But it did look cool. It looked awesome. Another problem I ran into with that is I kept giving all my stuff away to all the clans just so they'd stop beating me up every time they saw me out. But that actually brings me to another thing I really liked in the game, and that was they start you off with a smaller pouch and they let you upgrade it as you go. So when you first start off, you've really kind of got to decide like what you want to keep in there and what you're not going to keep or what you're not even going to pick up. And it's kind of a tough decision because there's certain things you have to craft in the beginning that take certain things. It's kind of confusing. It's more of a thing you have to just kind of see when you play it, but I really like the idea. So the time I did spend with the game, I played one of the vaults. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was down in the southeast, the desert area, and there were a bunch of crocodiles down there. But yeah, anyway, the vaults are really well done. I really like the way they're set up. Well, the one I went through anyway. So in each one of these vaults, you gain access to a tool that will help you in the vault and also with other puzzles and things like that out in the open world. The puzzles are actually extremely challenging in the vault. The last, I think 2 or 3, right when you get way up to the top of this one, they had me stuck for a while, honestly. And what makes them even more challenging is they don't just let you walk right in. First, you have to gain the trust of the village, and then you've got to help them do all kinds of other stuff, and then they'll open the door and let you inside. But some of the dialogue after the first one kind of makes me think that there's going to be even more involved to open up the second one. So again, I really wish I could have played through all this, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it. Okay, so I want to touch on the different clans, the open world, and the environments and stuff, but unfortunately, this is where things start to take a turn. So the different clans you come across are great. There are crocodiles, there's these birds, there's like these little fox guys, and a couple other ones. What are the other ones? The moose people are awesome. I can't remember any of their names. Like I said, I didn't get far enough into the game to really start remembering the names and stuff, so it's pretty easy to tell right when you start the game that the clans all have their strengths and weaknesses. And you can really start to tell that by actually just walking around and talking to some of the people in the camps. Each person kind of has their own little tidbit of information, and when you put all that together, you kind of get an idea sort of what type of society they have going on there. The overall map itself was actually a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be. Still a pretty good sized map, but it really does have a ton of variety in the landscapes and different environments that you see. But here's where we start getting into the problems. A lot of what's there to see isn't even visible until you're right up on it. Or sometimes it just disappears altogether. The pop-in in this game is so bad, especially at night. It's way worse at night. It's really, really bad during the day, but it is awful at night. How bad the pop-in is alone makes it hard for me to play the game. It affects the gameplay way, way too much. Like, there was a time I was trying to figure out how to get across a bridge that was broken. Turns out that bridge wasn't even broken. The middle part of it just hadn't loaded in at the time that I was looking at it. Yeah. There were other times where I thought I was being ambushed, but I wasn't. The enemy just wasn't there until I passed it, and then it was there behind me when I stopped. So then, after I died from that animal killing me, I found out that the load screens are insanely long. I didn't actually count the time it took for the load screen, but I can tell you this. I sat the controller down, walked upstairs, made food, came back downstairs, and it was still loading. Now, no, I didn't cook a gourmet meal, but I was up there for, 3 to 5 minutes probably, and it was still loading when I got back down here. But yeah, back to the pop-in. It's awful. Another example, and I don't even understand how this happens. There was a point in the game when I was up on a hill and I looked down and I saw a village, and I wanted to go down to the village. So I started just kind of hopping down rocks, and the village got closer and closer, and I could still see it, and I got down there close, and I was right on the edge of the cliff looking down into the village. I could see everything. People, things moving around, the whole village, everything's moving, everybody's, just going about their day. I jump off the cliff, look up, and the village is gone. It's just gone. I don't even know. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. It just left. Actually, I walked away from the village, turned around, and it was back. So I was like, okay, maybe it's a one-time thing. I'll go back in. Walked back in. Nope. Gone again. I saw somebody posted a video of something similar to that happening on Twirlbound's Twitter feed. They said there was something in a patch to fix it. Now, I've checked, and I seem to be running the most recent updated version of the game, and all this is still happening. So clearly that patch isn't doing what it's supposed to do, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it. I don't know. Either way, these things are happening consistently, and the pop-in is not the only problem. The other massive issue right now is frame rate, and it is really, really bad. I don't know what the target frame rate is for this game, but I can tell you right now it's not hitting it. Not even close. Not only is just walking around buggy and glitchy, but sometimes the entire game just freezes for multiple seconds at a time. One time it froze for a few seconds and then loaded back in a place that I was about 3 minutes ago. I don't know how that happens. And again, unfortunately, this is a problem that happens consistently throughout the game. I would say there's probably some type of frame rate issue about every 5 to 10 seconds. And it's not just small hiccups. It definitely affects the gameplay. And this could be because of the frame rate issues too, but the controls just feel really sluggish, just not responsive at all. It also seemed to be a little bit of an issue in some of the platforming areas, but I did hear someone say the same thing about it on PC, so it might just be the controls in general. I'm not really sure. I have a few other complaints with this game that could probably be fixed fairly easily. I would say other than the pop-in and the frame rate, the really bad stuff, something that kind of disappointed me is it doesn't have gyro aiming on the Switch. This game needs that. I don't think I need to get into detail about it. Every game on the Switch should have gyro aiming. There's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't or can't. Another issue I had was the text in handheld mode is so tiny. On the TV, it really wasn't an issue at all, but in handheld mode, you can't really read the dialogue all that well. You definitely don't know how many of what you have in your inventory, and completely forget about trying to read any of that on the Switch Lite. That ain't happening. It's impossible. Well, maybe not impossible, but you know what I mean. So I hope Twirlbound gets this figured out. I want to play this game so bad. The parts I played, other than the big issues that I talked about, I really, really enjoyed. It just makes it so difficult to play with all that stuff going on. So Twirlbound, if you hear this, please Fix these issues. I want to play your game. All right, so I need to know which one of you guys is playing Pine and how many of you are having these same issues. And if anybody has any info on that patch or if there's another one coming, please leave that in the comments below. Not only will it help me, but it might help somebody else out who reads it. But that is all I have for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping in. Please don't forget to leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.